and all of the men died, and all the vehicles were blown up. And so I was leaving Kuwait City on my way to the Udari base to visit members of the army. And we're driving, and I asked, I go, are we on the highway of death? Not knowing it was Highway 80. They said, yes. I said, could we pull over and look? And they said, 3 minutes schedule. I said, okay. And I hopped out. And the thing I want to point out to you, if you look up halfway up the far left of the screen, you'll see a tire poking out, and come down to your slight right, you'll see another one poking out of the sand, and then one right in front of you. That's just demonstrative of how the desert is like the sea, and all deserts are in motion all the time. It might not look like it, but sands are constantly shifting. And if you give this stretch of desert enough time, it will eventually bury all of those vehicles, and it will be history that's invisible to the human eye. And so the thing I was thinking about when I was standing out listening to the wind whip through all of this machinery was that there's a lot of mothers and wives and sisters and kids. Where did my dad go? Where did my brother go? Where did my husband go? Because they went out into this on this day and they did not come back. And they're probably out here. And so there's a lot of Iraqi families with this mystery. Like, my husband left and I got 3 kids I'm raising as a single mom. Where is he? We have no idea, because there's no way they're going to go try and dig out human remains from this area. And it's just one of the things I saw on the USO tour, where seeing it at the time, being in these places at the time is one thing. The hardest, most surreal aspect of USO travel is when you eventually come back. I live in Hollywood, California. So I'm driving down Hollywood Boulevard to Trader Joe's, having just been here 5 days ago. And that was the weirdest aspect of USO travel, was eventually coming back to planet Earth. This is a typical day of patrol in Baghdad, in the green zone. This is a Black Hawk helicopter, which I got to fly around from base to base. They're like the Lamborghinis of the sky. They're utterly terrifying. Thankfully, the right stuff types fly them around. And this is not a drill. You see the look on this guy's face. He's looking for any suspicious activity on rooftops and in the streets, and that machine gun is manned. In my opinion, I have no affection for Saddam Hussein. I just think it was a really ill-advised and maybe illegal war. And so these men and women are put in this position where they're thrown into this, being an enlisted person. You take your orders and you go. You do not disobey. You just smile and hit it. And so I think a lot of the people I met when I was going to all these places over the years were very conflicted about why they were there, but once they were there, the objective is get back to the dining facility in the evening, which means survive, and get your friends through as well. And eventually all these men and women went home. They went home to quiet cities when they have all of this in their head, all that pressure, all that adrenaline, and not a lot of places to go with it. And no American president in my lifetime has dealt with veterans to my satisfaction. And the older and more informed I become, the less and less satisfied I am with what happens with the follow-up. Like, the American government can start these wars, but they don't know how to finish them. And they don't know how to deal with what comes back home by the hundred of thousands. Oh, look, Siberia. This is a warning. I have sequenced these photos so they go zigzagging all over the world as our creative minds are wont to do. So there's really no direction all the time. There's like, I'll put that there. That'll stun them. Let's go from desert to like minus 50. Now, there is nothing I can tell you about cold weather. All of you are veterans of cold weather. You are cold weather pros. Some of you have lost fingertips because of frostbite. I understand. Some of you have contemplated death in your driveway. I'm freezing to death as I shovel out. Some of you have been stuck in your homes because the snow would not let you out. I totally get it. However, Siberia was a different kind of cold than I've ever experienced before. And I'm a veteran of northern Canada in December cold. But it's trying to kill me. This weather is trying to kill me. Such was the cold in Siberia. Years ago, I was talking with this woman I've known since I think I was in high school, Cynthia. Cynthia travels all over the world. It's one woman